the Raven Cycle series in summary. Pay no attention to the magic behind the curtain. Yep, that's me.
Freshly matching.
Hello, beautiful bookish people. My name is Hannah, and today we're doing a full spoilery discussion of The Raven King. I'll add sound effects so it won't be awkward.
Cool.
So, if you haven't noticed, I'm with a friend. There's the thing about me, I like full circles. And so I've kind of done something special for each book of the Raven Boys. For the first one, I made a trailer.
A dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight.
For the second one, I dressed up like Ronan with an awful bald cap. Can do. And then for the third one, I made a rap, which is I'm not proud of, but it was fun.
And it's my favorite so far. Without being withholding, I didn't know I could get feels from hand holding.
And today I'm joined with my friend Linnea, who introduced me to the Raven Boys, so it feels like a full circle of now I get to discuss fully with the person that introduced it to me.
Wow. My heart explodes.
But Linnea, you had like quite a history with the Raven Boys and like a love, and I was always like, I'll never read it.
Yeah.
Until, I don't know.
What, like
6 months ago? And now I love it, and I'm here, and we're both Gansey.
Told you.
Do you want to like give any like personal intakes of like why this is one of your favorite series, or like why the character of Gansey means so much to you before we like get into like full spoilers? Because like fictional characters are critical to a reader's life.
Oh, 100%. Mm-hmm. The Raven Boys was one of the first like YA books that I read.
Mine was Percy. Mm-hmm.
I smuggled it home from the library. I hid it under my bed.
Aww.
Like there was swearing and magic, and
oh my gosh.
And to date, I've read the first book 17 times.
Wow.
Since 2013,
which is a wow.
A lot. Too many.
No.
No such thing as too many.
No, I've definitely read the book Thief like 12 times.
And then I met Gansey, and meeting Richard Gansey was like one of the first people that was anything like me that I'd ever really seen in a book.
It's true. That's how I felt too.
Yeah, like Gansey made me feel very, very seen, and I just latched on to him. The rest is history, because we're here to talk about the Raven King.
Hey. But yeah, we're gonna go full spoiler discussion.
Yes.
So if you haven't read the Raven King, see you later, unless you don't mind spoilers, which
you can have them if you want them.
So we both discussed our disappointment for the final book. I've had like 2 emotions come from the Raven King.
Okay.
And the first has been happiness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the second one has been disappointment.
Okay. Where's the happiness coming from then?
The happiness?
Yeah.
Oh, like Gansey and like being able to see his journey, even if it wasn't satisfactory.
Like we
spend like so much time with him.
We spend a lot of time with him from beginning to end. And a couple of the things that we get to see him do in this book, and a couple of the things that we get to see other people think about him in this book. There's this one line in Raven King. But we have the whole scene at the hospital after Blue almost loses her eye because of Noah.
Yeah.
But we're standing there and like everything is happening, and Gansey has just like very eloquently, might I add, informed everybody that him and Blue are dating.
Yes.
And Adam has this moment where
they don't know how like he's gonna react.
Right. And Adam has this moment where like we're in his point of view, and he's like thinking he was such a tattered version of the person Adam had first met, and Adam couldn't tell if Gansey was becoming someone different or if he was returning to someone he'd already been long before. Which really gets me too. And we just see a lot of people recognize a lot of things about Gansey down in like the hole in Aglionby where with Henry and Robo-Bee. But like there's that whole
oh my gosh.
There's that whole moment though where Henry is like, it's very Gansey like, and Gansey's like, what is Gansey like?
Yeah.
How do people know what Gansey like is like? Henry's like, it's a test of metal. That's the Gansey like part. And I was Honestly, the best thing that Henry Chang did for this book was that line.
Bumblebee and the toga party.
Okay, we can talk about the toga party later too. Because in the Raven Boys, Gainsey talks a lot about wanting and like the more and like that's all there is and everything. And we see him kind of we see him in Raven King kind of go back to where he must have been before that Gainsey existed, because he's always like, we've seen versions of Gainsey, and Gainsey is aware that he has versions of himself because that's how he has to be. Yeah, and we kind of see him go back.
Like a reverse effect. Like internalize things, which is like, poof.
Yeah. Ouch.
Too close.
Ouch.
But since you brought up like Henry, do you want to talk about?
Must we speak of Henry Chang?
But we kind of discussed like he's kind of useless to an extent, but like Maggie only makes him available because we need him for plot things.
Yeah, he's useful, but that's it.
But it's like justifiable to have him be there.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I care about him.
It's fine for him to be there. It is not fine for him to act like a member of the group.
Well, Gansey and Ronan are like best friends, and then Henry just kind of like steps in for not a whole lot of explanation, which feels unsatisfying, which is the subtext of this book.
Because I'm fine with Gainsey becoming friends with Henry the way that he does.
But
Gainsey is drawn to people that he's drawn to because there's something there. However,
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. I don't believe him. And I don't get it.
Yeah, me either. He says some questionable things to like Blue. Also a rape joke, which is like
more than one.
Not great, but I want it to be checked, or like it goes unchecked.
It goes unchecked, and then Blue becomes friends with him, which we've seen before is not something that Blue Sergeant is willing to do.
But you could make the argument, because I have like a theory about like Henry and Noah's dynamic.
Right, of the like slow fade.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how like one member of a group is fading while another one is emerging, and there's kind of, you could say that there's symbolic elements to that.
Sure.
But it's not developed enough for me to like get on board with it. Which also like is a good like segue to like talk about Noah.
Yes.
Because we like fading friendships and like symbolism. So let's talk about Noah for a second. I have a theory.
Okay.
Is Noah supposed to be like a symbolic Glendower?
Yeah.
Because like, as the group's interest in Glendower is fading, so is Noah. Yeah. And there's a lot of like ties with like Glendower and like Cavewater, which Noah was a part of, and like the Gang Dreams and like Gansey, and like they're connected.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, are they not? It's all a fever dream.
Honestly, yeah. Here's the thing about like any theory we could come up with the Raven King. I am here to like just accept them, because like there's room inside of this for you to kind of decide.
Which is great, but not in the sense of how Maggie does it. Because it's great when you can like play with characters in your mind, thinking about possibilities of certain things. But there's so many loose ends by the end that it's like all crumbles. Okay, let's talk about like Glendower and like Gansey and just unsatisfaction after unsatisfaction. Everything is like very much built up to just be a letdown. Gwendolyn is telling Gansey to like just go find him. Yeah. Like follow the ravens. And we do, and we open, and Glendower is dead. Yeah. And then we have about a paragraph of mourning, and
I certainly didn't follow the order of events until the second time I read this book. I had no clue.
Really?
Yeah. So like that's it.
Yeah.
That's all of it.
This is, the entire series is leading up to this. I know.
It's not enough. And it just, I understand the magic of what happens. That's fine, and I'm fine with the demon coming for Ronan, and I'm fine for Gainsey taking Ronan's place as the sacrifice, because that's something a king would do, and we need to see Gainsey become a king, because if that hadn't happened, wow. Like, it's been a long time, and he's only been after this. And first of all, the thing that we don't get a whole lot of is Gainsey thinking about that in this book.
There's no time for anyone to process.
Nobody processes anything about this. And then that happens, they get there, and it's just bones.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even have like a historical moment. He's not even like, wow, this is an old tomb. He just gets out of the car and we have like a paragraph or two. Gainsey's lost a lot and been through a lot in all of this, and we get like, we see him cry for like 2 sentences. We don't get to let him process the fact that the one thing he has wanted his practically entire life is just bones.
Because like this whole book is like been about the characters, but nobody gets to like deal with their things. This whole point, what feels like emptiness in your stomach is like, this whole thing has been like a magical journey of like people can pull things out of their dreams, and like, oh, there are curses and psychics that are predicting things that leads to nothing.
Yeah.
And so it takes away that like magical realism or like fairy tale element that you've been like working for and constructing this entire series, so that when you're at the end, it crumbles and you're left to think like, what is real, which is not a feeling that you want in this book.
No. And it's one thing to be like, Glendower's just a skeleton. That's fine.
Yeah.
That happens.
But
reality happens. But
to either side.
yeah, and to then go from like, hey, Glendower's just a skeleton and reality sucks, to nobody getting to emotionally deal with that.
Which has been the point of these stories. What would you fix about this book, do you think?
I think a lot could be fixed by like simplifying. Like we have the whole magical black market.
Which
we have the
didn't
whole thing with
need.
all of these like extra people. We have the whole thing with Henry. We have the whole thing with Artemis. We have so much going on, and then we just like throw a demon in the middle for good measure.
Because there's always been like a boogeyman for
For
each
sure,
book,
each book has had its boogeyman.
but this one has like 3.
The boogeyman for this book, I feel, should have been Glendower.
Exactly.
Like,
but it wasn't.
But there were things instead that got in the way of Glendower, and that was weird.
It's just a lot.
It is. It's a lot, but not enough.
Yeah.
It's too
My
much,
life.
but not enough. Yeah, mood.
So this whole time that I've been reading the Raven Boys, I've always like talked to you about like each book and like my thoughts on it, and you've said that the Raven Boys is very much like has parallels to King Arthur. Like there's elements.
Yeah, like you can't have a heroic story without having Arthur parallels. That's part of what I love about Arthurian lore so much, is like you can't get away from an Arthur archetype if you've got a hero.
So like in this story, I only noticed like 2 things.
Okay.
Where there's Ronan is trying to like dream up a suit of armor to protect Gansey from wasps and bees. And then at the end, there's that one line where Gansey is like made up of his subjects.
Yes.
Which was beautiful.
That was, I did love that.
And Henry's not there.
part of that.
But do you have like any other parallels that like you think or like see in this book?
Yeah, subjectively, like everything is about Richard Gansey, and so
It's true.
I really think that,
No debate here.
yeah, like I really think that Blue kind of is more of like a Merlin figure than people
Blue?
generally tighten.
I would have pegged Ronan as the
I go back and forth
the
depending
Merlin.
on which book I read. Ronan also is Gansey's like right-hand man. There's this scene in Raven King right after Aurora died. Ronan's just sitting there in the car and he's like, I'm waiting for you to tell me where to go. I'm waiting for you to tell me where to go. Which is very it's very Lancelot of him, honestly.
Oh, you think Ronan's Lance?
There's that. But also he does a lot of things that like better Gansey, which is very Merlin of him. Whereas Blue does a lot of things that enhance Gansey, which is very Merlin of her.
What would Adam be?
I don't know. I don't really know which archetype I would place.
You know who he is? Gwen. He like ends up with Lance.
Yep. Hey, works for me.
But I don't know. Do you have any like concluding thoughts?
Concluding thoughts.
I hope this is a good discussion.
Yeah, great discussion. I love Richard Gansey.
We both do.
We both do.
Thank you for being here. This was really cool.
Thank you for inviting me. I felt really
Full circle.
Yeah, I was touched that
Oh,
I
yeah.
got to come and be a part of the final installment. given that I've been here for the whole journey.
Mm-hmm.
Started the whole journey.
It's true. I wouldn't be here without you.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Gainsey wouldn't be here without any of his friends.
Stop! But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Keep reading and all that jazz. But is this wow, no, it's just like the motto of my life, like just like a little late to everything.
Oh, just a little late.
Oh wow, the shade. What?
At the hospital scene that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm. We had a full
discussion.
Yeah. So you're getting secondhand thoughts, but it's fine because they're
These
like
are
more
better.
They're more polished when you're reading it.
Yeah. This book is the part where the pig breaks down. What happens if I start crying on your video about Richard Gainsey?
It's okay. I can like clickbait it.
There we go.
We cry?
We cry?
When you try your best and you don't succeed. That's the satire book. Smash that subscribe button.